The Porchcast with Brandon and Christian. Brandon and Christian. The Porchcast with Brandon and Christian.
Welcome back to the Porchcast. What did you guys think of that intro? Like and comment on your thoughts on that intro song. Christian, how you doing?
I feel good, especially the fact that we don't even know what the intro is going to be, but we could throw it on after we record this.
That's true.
So it'll probably be cool if we've already put it on there.
Well, yeah, so the plan is to not release this episode without an intro. So if you're hearing this episode and there was not an intro, then that means that something's afoot and something went awry, and we made an executive decision to post the episode anyways, and I hope that you guys appreciate that just as much as you appreciated the intro if it existed, right?
Yeah, because what we have so far is we've got some good ideas already. So,
I agree with that. So let's think. What do we want to talk about?
Let's just dive in, man.
You want to dive right into it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Who's your favorite superhero?
Batman.
Why?
Because he doesn't have any real superpowers.
You don't think that's a problem? You don't
No.
think that, like, money being his superpower is, like, a little bit sus?
That's not his superpower.
Why don't you think so?
Because it's the way he uses it.
So his intelligence is his superpower.
Yeah, if you want to look at it that way, but it's more just his ability to, his detective skills, his ninja abilities, his resolve, his courage and bravery, all that.
I can definitely see that. Unlike you, I like superpowers. I think that's like why I like superheroes.
You like Spider-Man?
I love Spider-Man. I love that this guy, I don't know, different stories are told different ways. This guy got bit by a spider and he got the powers from it. That's so cool. That's like classic superhero.
I kind of want to be the new Spider-Man in the reboot.
Are they doing a new Spider-Man?
I don't know. Probably eventually.
Well, Tom Holland, you've heard about all this, right? Let's talk about this. Have you heard about what's going on with Sony and Disney?
No.
So, Sony owns Spider-Man, somehow. It's the only Marvel superhero that Sony owns. Everybody else, Disney has it. Marvel owns it. But I guess years before Disney bought Marvel, I think this is what happened, but somebody would have to confirm it for me. Years before Disney bought Marvel, Marvel was in a real pinch, so they sold Spider-Man to Sony and let Sony make the movies with Tobey Maguire. And they were sick movies. And then now, years later, Spider-Man he was an Avenger. They needed him. They needed him to be in the movies. He was a major part of the story, too. So Disney and Sony struck a deal where Disney would be able to incorporate him in the Avengers movies, but they would also completely make two Spider-Man movies, standalone Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home. And Sony would receive 95% of the profit for Disney making those movies, and Disney would receive 5% of the profit, and Disney would make the entire movies. And for that, they would get to include Spider-Man in their Avengers movies. So basically, they thought that having Spider-Man being able to join the universe would make more money than they wouldn't get from making those Spider-Man movies, or that they would lose, or whatever. And so now it sounds like Disney came back after that contract and asked for 50%, which I think makes sense because of what they've done. I think that seems really reasonable to me. And Sony said, no, absolutely not. We're keeping Spider-Man and we're taking him out of the universe.
So they're doing a new guy?
No, they can't. Tom Holland is Spider-Man. So now Sony is going to keep doing Spider-Man movies on their own with Tom Holland. And Spider-Man is no longer allowed to be in the Avengers universe. He's going to have to be written out. off screen.
Oh, I haven't seen the last one, and I know you haven't either.
I
so-
haven't either. I haven't either. I know the politics of it, I guess, more than anything. What do you think of that, though? Like, what do you think of the fact that business influences how movies are made and, like, how the story's told?
It makes sense because if they own the rights to the characters, it makes sense that they would be able to do what they want to do with them. You know?
It makes sense from Sony's perspective, for sure. But it also makes sense. I mean, it makes sense from both sides, I think. It's just they're both very stubborn about it, apparently. And then neither is giving in any way.
What do you want them to do?
I want them to make an agreement, do 50-50. That seems fair, to be honest. So I guess I'm on Disney's side. If that's what they offered, then I'm on Disney's side. If they offered more than that, like I don't think they deserve any stake more than the 60%. Because ultimately, Sony made that investment years ago, and they deserve to continue getting return on that investment. I get it, like that they bought something for cheap and it paid off. Of course, you want to use it, but they're not doing any work, and they could never have gotten the money without Marvel, without Disney, without making those movies, without making this. I mean, the Peter Parker movies were okay. The Andrew Garfield movies were trash, but these made them probably insane money that they never would have made.
Did you say the Peter Parker movies were good? My mind is like, it's like a hamster wheel turning.
The Tobey Maguire movies, yeah. He's Peter Parker to me. He's Peter Parker.
Tobey Maguire?
Mm-hmm. That's the role I know him most for.
I feel like he hasn't done a lot since then.
He did Secretariat, I think.
I thought that was just a BoJack Horseman joke, or was that a real thing?
No, that's a real thing. He did Secretariat. He was not the horse.
Who was the horse?
BoJack Horseman was the horse, I think.
Is that where he got his...
That's where it was back in the 90s.
Came up?
Okay, I don't want to talk about that anymore. What else do you want to talk about?
I had one subject of conversation that I came up with earlier. What would you do if you were hooking up with a girl and you guys were having a great time, and then you went back to her place and she had a race car bed?
I would think that was tight. I would think it was weird. Does she look a little young?
Extremely.
How young are we talking?
I don't know. Too
Questionable? Sus?
Well, I just think it would be cool if it was more socially acceptable to have cool beds like that. But I guess no one would really know what kind of bed you have anyway.
Why not?
Because they would never be in your room.
I don't know. I feel like a race car bed would be extremely jarring to see
In someone's room?
in somebody's room, especially like a girl's room, especially a girl's room that was my age. I think that would be too weird, too surprising for me to accept and be okay with. What do you think? What's your opinion on if that situation happened to you?
I hadn't thought that far.
Really, you just thought of the question?
Oh wait, no, I did. I thought of the punchline. It'd be like, let's see how fast we could make this baby go.
That is funny. That is really funny.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that would go over well in that situation. It would have to. That's really clever. But do you think that you would be able to think of it on the spot like that? Do you think that would come right out?
Yeah, probably, or something even more funny.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're a fan of the things you say. I am too. So
Thanks, dude.
the things. Oh. Yeah.
For yourself?
Sure. No,
Okay.
I meant you that time, but me too.
Thanks.
Yeah, dude. Of course. What's your opinion on sleep?
It's good. I would prefer to have more of it, and I get plenty.
Yeah, it's interesting though because you don't get as much sleep on the weekends.
How
You don't
figure?
sleep in.
Well, yeah, it's because I will usually stay up later, and then I'll wake up at the same time still.
Yeah, that's what I do too. Why do you think that is?
Your body's just used to waking up at a certain time.
And also, our rooms get pretty bright right now.
Oh, yeah, that's another thing. So, yeah, I usually get the sunlight right in my eyeballs. I kind of like it, though.
It's not going to happen anymore. We're going to completely lose that.
I probably won't miss it that much.
Yeah, we'll
But
be
I don't
facing
mind
the
it.
complete opposite direction. We will see sunsets all the time.
Love it.
Yeah, so I
That's
prefer
awesome.
that. Holy crap! I just realized that. Facing west, man.
I
Facing
know.
west is the way to go. I mean, so that's where the mountains are. That's where the views are. But you forget that's where the sunset is too.
Do you think the Porchcast will be better just in virtue of having a sicker view?
Yeah, I know it is to me.
It's more conducive to conversation.
I mean, just having a sick porch in general is going to be more conducive to conversation. I think. Yeah. I mean, you're just going to be more comfortable with like what's going on and stuff.
I feel like the salt lamps really
Salt lamp adds a good touch to it. Yeah. What?
bumping the energy up.
Speaking of things that gave you light, in the darkness, I'd really like to give a quick shout out and a quick thank you to Tiki Torches for all that they've done so far, for getting us to episode 5. And let's talk about that for a little bit, because I think we owe the people some answers on what the heck, So we're gonna talk about that. But I want to thank our sponsors, Tiki Torches for sure, Quest Bars for sure. Try the chocolate donut with sprinkles. It's gonna taste like a chocolate donut with sprinkles. And they also have a almost slutty brownie. They have like a cookie and brownie combo that just came out. That's also really delicious. Try some Quest Bars out, and that kombucha company. Try them out.
Do you want to know who I want to thank?
Yeah, who do you want to thank? Thank all your sponsors too.
I wanted to thank nobody.
Thank you, nobody.
That's all.
All right, so let's talk about this. It's been a few weeks, and I feel like there was probably a perception out there for a time that we, got into this thing, recorded a few episodes of the podcast, and then just completely just gave up. And I want it to be abundantly clear.
That's the opposite of what happened.
That's not the case. In fact, we have been trying so hard to develop content. But we've ran into numerous technical difficulties, which have been resolved within the last 45 minutes or so, we think. And that was a challenge. And we persevered through that challenge and through multiple purchases and a lot of Amazon packages. And shout out to our new sponsor, Amazon. Definitely our sponsor, for supplying us with this great gear and getting our ball rolling. But an apology from me, for sure. That's my opinion on it. Christian, what are your thoughts on the hiatus? The hiatus scandal.
I'm mostly in agreement with what you said. However, I would like to do a bit of a callback to the way in which I thanked our sponsors by not thanking them. I'd like to apologize to nobody. All of the mistakes were pretty understandable, and there's at least one person I know that wants new content, and I would just prefer to not even mince words. I would rather just pump the content out. And to be honest with you, I thought that race car bed thing was I thought that would be the whole porch cast. That's why I kind of just put the pen down once I wrote that down. I was just like, that'll cover a whole evening. But I'm ready to move on. I don't even care. It's fine. On the subject of Amazon, have you seen the very, very fake tweets that I don't know if they're bots or real accounts of so-called Amazon employees touting their satisfaction with not only their jobs but the intricacies of the time off system for Amazon, and also the kind of, what do you call it, principles of the organization. And it's the most fake dystopian-esque like tweets ever.
No, tell me more about that. Do you want to pull up some examples?
Could you? You're better at Googling stuff than I am.
Okay, let's do it. So this is going to be the first time that we bring outside content in. So thank you to our sponsor, the internet, for allowing us to access all the realms, including the dark web, which I'm logging into right now because I'm assuming that's where it exists, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. What am I looking up?
Search fake Amazon employee tweets.
Okay. we're in business. And I don't want to have any dead air, but give me a second.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm fine with dead air.
You think so?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't think so either. What the heck? Okay.
Did you get them? Spit them out.
All right. So Raphael. So this is let me tell you exactly what his name is on Twitter. His name, so not his his at thing. His name is Raphael, Amazon FC ambassador with a box emoji, and his Twitter name is Amazon FCR or FC Raphael. Back from more than a week of absence at work. Good thing I was able to cover it up using my time bank, personal, sick, and vacation. So that's, pretty informative. Good. Here's another one. So excited for Amazon Family Day at my site this weekend. I can't wait to bring the grandkids by for a visit so they can see their nana at work. Bonus, I also get the day off that day. Yippee! That was also Raphael.
Can I just stop you right there?
Absolutely.
I got one word for you.
Yeah.
Jarring.
Jarring. So what do you mean by jarring?
It's someone's job to put out these fake tweets because Amazon obviously gets so much negative coverage about their practices as far as employment and time off and breaks and blah blah blah, that it's someone's job to put out these totally bogus tweets that are so clearly fake.
Can I talk about more?
Yeah, please.
So somebody said, at Amazon treats their workers like shit. Come at me, bots. Nicholas, an Amazon FC ambassador, box emoji. Amazon FC Nicholas. So a very similar handle format to Raphael. I don't know. It seems a little suspicious, but Autobots transform and roll out. Actually, if Amazon did use bots to reply to social media, would be more entertaining than me. At the building I work at, I don't feel mistreated. My safety and well-being are a top priority for my managers. I even get to use the bathroom when I want.
That's like the lowest bar to meet, I think. Getting to use the bathroom when you want.
LMFAO. So this is this is Sabrina Nika. LMFAO. That's why there was a video of a U.S. Navy Marine complaining about how horrible the working conditions are at Amazon are. Right? Smiley face. Calling Hannah, Amazon FC ambassador, box emoji. I suffer from depression too, and at one point I wanted to quit Amazon, but I realized it was my fault for the problems I was dealing with, and not Amazon's. I'm allowed to talk to people, but sometimes I don't want to. Now I have some great coworkers to pass the night with. Are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, I got one word for you. You know what it is? Brandon?
Yeah.
It's still jarring. It's the same word from before.
All right, can I ask you this question? Does this change your mind at all, the editor's note? Editor's note, August 15th. After we published this story, Amazon reached out to claim that the FC ambassadors are completely real.
Do you think that Amazon is a cult?
I don't think that Amazon is a cult. I think that this is somebody's job to write this kind of shit, and they just have different profiles. They're completely real, as in they come from a real person, but it's a corporate employee. It's sick. It's sick, right? Do you not like what do you think? I think it's absolutely real. They're not bots, I don't think, but they're workers.
No, I'm saying, do you think they're under some kind of mind control and it's real people saying those things?
Any job can get you under mind control. The mind control can be money, but yeah, it's somebody's job, so they do it for their job.
Because if we're being serious, I think it's probably just someone's has to just make them look good on social media by putting all that junk out. But even then, you'd think that you would make it somebody's job who understands that people don't sound like that.
I don't know, because this is when I get skeptical of big companies. Is sometimes I think like they can't be that stupid and here we are talking about it.
Is it just an ad?
I don't know. It's funny. It's weird. It makes
Dude, did we
Amazon
just get
seem weird.
taken?
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say it's an ad, but it's a strategy. It's a strategy at something, and it either worked or it didn't work, depending on what their intent behind it was. If their intent behind it was to get people talking about how weird Amazon was, fucking great work.
They got us hook, line, and sinker. Now I feel a bit silly.
I feel a bit silly too. I feel like I got, and that's okay. But at the same time, if they did it with the intention of providing good customer service to people online, they did a horrible job at that, right?
I don't think it's customer service. It'd be more like damage control, right?
Well, that's what it becomes. But if you look at like Xbox support, Twitter, it's just people being like insane, like the exact stuff you would expect people to say on like an Xbox Twitter when Xbox is down, especially.
They're like, yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah, and everybody's like, fuck you are, fucking, I bet you're just jerking off in there, just jerking off with all you nerds. That's the kind of shit they say on Twitter, and it's like,
How do you know?
how do you know? Like, yeah, but how did you know?
'Cause I don't think you use Twitter, so I'm just wondering how you know what they say on Twitter.
I use Twitter when Xbox is down.
Do you?
Yeah, when Xbox is down, I'll use their Twitter. I'll go on their Twitter and check in, and I'll go to Xbox support. I'll be like, fucking stop sucking each other's dicks.
Yeah, figure it out.
Yeah, I'll reply to their tweets.
Do you think that the people that are monitoring and using the Twitter are the same people that are trying to fix the system?
No, definitely not. They're definitely different people. But that
Okay.
still sucks. I don't know. Well, there definitely is. There could be like a middleman, somebody that just like works for the IT department. That's just focused on like IT communications. It's probably what it is.
Yeah, it's probably not that bad because, I mean, it's not like, what are you supposed to do? Just tell them that you're working on it.
Yeah, but it sucks if at like 2 a.m. shit goes down. And on Christmas Day,
yeah.
it goes down all the time. The Lizard Army really likes to shut it down on Christmas Day because all the kids get their new system. And
That's
it's
really lame.
dude. All the kids get their new system, and the part that they find funny is how frustrated parents get on Christmas because they got their kids this new toy and wanted to watch them be able to play with it all day, and they can't get it to work.
What kind of people do that?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, that is so mean.
Because I understand if you're being a hacker to troll people, but you might as well troll people that deserve it. Like, while we're on the subject, I was watching a video about, and this is so irrelevant at this point, I feel like no one really cares about the Westboro Baptist Church anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you ever saw that YouTube video where it was the woman from the Westboro Baptist Church, Anonymous, and then a radio host. And Anonymous, the guy from Anonymous, was actively taking their websites down while they were all on this call. And that type of thing is really funny.
That is funny, yeah.
So it makes more sense to, if you're going to be an internet hacker, target people that I feel like have it coming at least a little bit more.
What do you think would like your reaction would be if you were here and you were just chilling at the house and you got swatted? How do you think you would handle that situation? Or just like the SWAT team is just slamming on the apartment, like the front door of the apartment?
Honestly, it'd probably be pretty boring. I would just do whatever they told me to do.
Yeah.
And wait and be like, listen, I know you guys are pretty mad right now, but I didn't do anything. And I think that you'll find that out pretty soon too, because that's your job. So,
But that guy did die.
I don't know the details.
I don't know the details either. I think he did something weird. That's
I mean, all it takes is like
consensus.
one hothead to just blow your brains out for no reason.
Well,
But
that's exactly right.
those, I guess you don't hear that as much from the SWAT guys as for just regular cops.
Well, the thing about cops is that you just have one guy that has to like not pull the trigger, which is already hard to do. But you got to get one guy that's aware enough that the weird thing that the person did is not them grabbing a gun. They just were like fixing their pants. So you have one guy usually in a cop, maybe a few. With a SWAT team, you have a bunch. You have a bunch of guys that have to hold hold back from firing. And all it takes is one guy to get spooked.
Yeah, but I don't think that should be your reaction to getting
Of
spooked. Is just start shooting people.
Of course, but at a certain point, you get a level. It should never happen. It should never happen. You were improperly trained if this happens. If somebody does something weird that's not grabbing a gun and you shoot him and kill him, you made a mistake. There's this video once. It's too dark. I wouldn't look it up if I was listening. And basically, this guy is at like a hotel room with his girlfriend or wife. And the cop is being so shitty and yelling at him and just not letting him calm the situation down. The guy's just crying and saying, I don't know what you want me to do. Like, I'm trying to do everything that you're asking me to, but you're like, you keep yelling at me the whole time, and I'm like really scared about this situation because I feel like you're going to shoot me, and I don't have any weapons on me. That's like the way the guy's acting. And sure enough, dude, goes to grab his pants and pull him up because he's crawling on the ground. And they light him up.
I've seen that one. It's pretty messed up. They pretty much just murdered that guy for like no reason.
They murdered that guy for no reason. And I don't think I saw anything in that video where they were following protocol.
Yeah, but, you know, it happens.
I saw a girl's Hinge profile the other day, and it said, like, the question was, what brings you to your happy place, or something like that, or like, what makes you happy? And she was like, unicorns, rainbows, and bunnies. And I was like, fuck off. What? Unicorns, rainbows, and bunnies? Are you serious? What do you think of that?
I think that there's an epidemic of just, it's two things, and they're both bad. It's girls that are attractive that think they don't have to put in any effort. Well, it could be three things. It could be both attractive and unattractive girls that aren't putting in any effort. One, maybe she's looking for this or that relationship, blah, 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 but she thinks she doesn't have to try. Or one that's just on there to get attention, and then she knows she doesn't have to try. And then there's the ones that are... Actually, I think that's pretty much it. They just put in no effort. And I just think there's an epidemic of just total basic young ladies. And, dude, I'm not, that's fine. That's their prerogative. But I think that if you're trying to attract a mate, I think that you could both ladies and gentlemen, can put in a little bit of effort.
You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Put in the effort.
Just a little bit of effort. Maybe make a little bit of a joke or something in your profile.
Okay,
that's my 2 cents. What do you think?
So, like, well, yeah. I mean, what's the kind of message that you want to get?
What?
What's the kind of message that you want to get from a girl? Like, what's like an example of something
that she has at least one interest that is not The Office or dogs, because neither.
What about
of those,
tacos and tequila?
Those I don't.
Or margs. Sorry.
I don't. Yeah, those don't constitute interests or hobbies in my book either. The Office is not an interest or a hobby. And dude, don't get me wrong. I think it's a good show, but if you think it's your personality, I don't even want to go on a rant about this because, dude, it seems like I really care because I don't. But I'm just saying.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
I have an Office quote in my profile,
and I'm sure that there's a lot of girls that like see that and they're like, "Oh, he likes The Office too." But dude, is that really the kind of lady you want to bring into your life? Because yeah, maybe you'll have something in common, but how much of a foundation is that? Do you really think?
It's just one thing, though.
It is one thing.
It's one of my favorite things.
Then you know what? Do what you got to do. And I didn't mean to call you out, but I think that
I agree with you though. It annoys me when other people do it because
yeah.
I'm like, there's no way you're as big of a fan of The Office as me. You don't deserve.
Okay, so you're like the keeper of the gate.
I'm the keeper, dude. I will keep that gate all night long. I'll be like, get out of here with that. You probably haven't watched that episode, and really and truly, I don't even know this show that well because I fall asleep all the time when I watch it. But
and dude, this obsession with dogs, like. Don't get me wrong, dogs are really cool, but I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, what do you think that's all about?
I don't know, man. And the weird thing is that as far as dating apps go, you don't get feedback from people of your gender unless obviously you're looking at people of your gender, which I would say most people are not. So you don't really know how basic you are because you have no frame of reference. That's my hypothesis.
What do you mean basic?
If you what is that?
We gotta plug it in.
Okay. Well, you got to bring it over here, dog. Brandon, start talking.
We're plugging in the electronics. Yeah, we can move on. We can move on to another prepared topic. Got it?
Yeah, but the salt lamp's out.
Okay. Yeah.
That's okay.
Well, whatever happens, happens. What do you think if you were in a room? I don't know if I've ever asked you this question before, but it's one of my favorite questions. So you're in a room and there's 100 boxes in this room, okay? And in 99 of the boxes is $1 million. And one of the boxes is a bomb that automatically detonates if you open it. How many boxes would you open?
Oh, I thought you were going to ask if I would just open one. Do you know the math?
I do know the math, yeah, of course.
I'd probably just open one.
So the math suggests around 7.
Okay.
Yeah, which is quite a lot.
Or you just keep going, man.
Well, it's about the way that the math kind of figured it out was they figured what's the benefit of an additional $1 million, right? And the first $1 million is super beneficial. I mean, the first $1 million is huge. The second $1 million is really big. Third and fourth $1 million is pretty good. By the seventh $1 million, $8 million isn't that much better than $7 million. It's not better enough for you to risk your life.
Okay, so this is like a diminishing return
exactly
type situation.
Exactly. So they took an economics perspective to it.
Okay, yeah, I follow. We talked about something not like exactly like this, but similar when I took economics in college, except we did it with bananas and how many bananas you could eat.
Yep, absolutely. That's a great example. I mean, that sets the framework for it. And yeah, how many bananas could you eat?
12. At least when I was
where you
18.
landed?
Well, no, I did eat 12 bananas.
You ate 12 bananas?
Yeah, in a row. You
When?
didn't know that? Freshman year of college.
How long do you think was the total time from open up that first little wiener and getting the 12th one down that gullet?
Not long.
Really? 15 minutes?
Probably about that.
Christian.
What? I really like bananas though. But don't get me wrong. It stopped being fun after the first couple.
One time a girl at work at my last job ate 6 donuts in 10 minutes.
Were you observing her or did she do it?
She did it publicly as for a challenge.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think of that? I could do it, no problem. It wouldn't even be an issue, but
6 donuts? Yeah, I mean, it's just a night out, on the town.
That's just some donuts. Yeah, donuts are food. I could probably eat a lot of donuts. Those are good. I don't know. I feel like, dude, you know what food I could eat 1 million of is those mini cupcakes. Have you ever had those? The mini cupcakes are just like a
little bits. Or what are those things called? Little bites.
Those are muffins, but those are, dude. Yeah, I could crush them little bites for sure.
I like those things for sure.
Were you ever a Pop-Tart guy?
I like Pop-Tarts. My mom would get those, like, not off-brand Pop-Tarts, but they would be like the healthy version.
Yeah, like Annie's Pop-Tarts.
Exactly. I don't know if that was an actual brand, but that was like the Annie's mac and cheese, which you get older and you realize that that's the good stuff.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's the good stuff. Especially, I mean, other than making it yourself, I guess. But making it yourself is gonna be super unhealthy. Yeah, no, Annie's is impressive for how good it is and how decently healthy it is and how cheap it is. All those boxes that you want your food to check. it really does the job, don't you think?
Totally.
I agree 100%. All right, you want to take a quick break?
How long have we been talking?
We're at the 35-minute mark.
Seriously? I feel like we just sat down.
I know. It goes quick, but we've run through it all. But I feel like it'll be a good idea to take a quick break. I'm gonna go pee pee, and then we can come back and
Do you want to cross
and
streams?
get it going. I don't know. I feel like we've been, because Eric's been in town, so we've been triple cross streaming lately. I don't really want to do the double.
And I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. We're gonna go cross stream, maybe for a couple hours. So we'll be back after this. And we are back. I wonder if we had like a middle interlude. Probably not. But we're gonna get there, guys. We're gonna have like a little welcome back music, right?
Yeah, why not?
Okay, but not this episode. This episode is brought to you by Tiki Torches instead. So I took a deeper dive into this Amazon profile, and they're posting pictures and stuff. And while they're a little bit more robotic than I'd like, they definitely look like human beings. So it is just an employee.
It probably wouldn't be that hard to make it look like a real person.
Yeah, and she doesn't have many. 596 tweets. Wow.
Is that a lot?
I mean, just think about how many times you've posted. I mean, you've posted on Instagram even. And she's posted 520 or 596 times. That's a bunch. All right, you want to do a BuzzFeed quiz?
Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna do a BuzzFeed quiz, and I'm curious what we pick, and I'm curious where you land because you're taking it.
Well, did you have the quiz selected already?
Yeah.
What is it?
No, we're gonna go through this. We're gonna kind of talk it out, and I want to make sure that we pick one that's funny. All right. How would you feel about finding out which Disney character is your soulmate?
I don't want to do that.
Okay. What about what animal is your personality most similar to?
I'd pick that over the first one, but I feel like we should look at maybe one more.
Okay. This shopping quiz will reveal what color you should paint your nails. Yes. That's what the description says, is yes.
I hate when people say that.
What do you think about, okay, so I'm going to tell a quick story, and I want to talk about specifically what this person said, this person we met in public. We got a couple stories here. So we were at a brewery last night, and we heard somebody walk into this brewery, and granted, we do live in a whiter area. And we had an individual walk up to his table and proclaim. He proclaimed to the bar, "Oh my goodness, I haven't seen this many white people since I left 16th Street." Is what he said. Now 16th Street does exist here, but it probably exists in many places. But yeah, 16th Street is kind of a big deal. There's a mall there, so I get where he was coming from. What do you think of that statement?
I think it's so weird when a member of a community talks about that community as if they were not in that community. I'm not saying that the statement offended me or that he shouldn't have said it. It takes a lot to get me bent out of shape. At least I would think so. And I think people should be able to say whatever they want to say. I just think it's really weird. And also really annoying.
Really annoying, yeah. And he followed through with it by leaving all their trash at the table, which was.
And you know
trashy.
what? That just confirmed my distaste for the person, and also people who say things such as that. So, did you think that the same type of people who would say yes, like with a bunch of A's in it, are the same type of people who would make another statement such as that?
Not necessarily. Yes, can be kind of funny at times.
Oh man, that's another thing. I hear that, I'm like, oh my god, I don't like this person at all.
Yeah.
You want to know another one that I just hate so much?
Yeah.
When someone says, what the actual fill in the blank.
Really? That doesn't bother me.
Oh my God, dude. I can't even tell you how much I loathe when people say that.
That's really interesting. I didn't know that about you. That doesn't even seem to be that bothersome of a statement.
Okay, I'll tell you all the reasons why it's annoying. And there are two. One, the phrase was doing just fine before you put the word actual in it.
Agreed.
Two, what is the word actual bringing or adding to the phrase?
Yeah,
nothing.
What is a hypothetical or an inactual fuck?
Dude, it just, okay, my minimalist taste and aesthetic, it drives that crazy. Why are you adding stuff to a phrase that didn't need it?
Yeah.
That's
I
all.
agree. No, I agree 100%.
Do you? Did I change your mind, or were you not really? Were you kind of sitting on the
No.
fence before?
I was on your side from the beginning, actually.
But now you're more strongly on my side.
Yeah, definitely. What about if you ordered something from McDonald's and I guessed your mental age with 100% accuracy?
Okay. My
Like you-
mental age.
Your mental age. So
What
this
does
is-
that mean?
I'm guessing it means how old you are mentally.
So like 6. So if I get a Happy Meal,
We're about to find out.
all right.
All right. So first, you got to pick your main entree. Do you want the salad,
No.
the chicken sandwich,
No.
the burger,
Maybe.
or the chicken nuggets?
I kind of want the nuggets.
Okay. And I would probably want the nuggets too. Now you get to pick your drink. You can choose bottled water, orange juice, a soda, or an iced tea. You may not choose water.
Why not?
That is just not an option, apparently. At McDonald's, I guess, you have to
You
order.
mean just water? I can do a bottle though.
Oh, yeah, it's bottled water. I'm
Could
sorry.
I
missed
opt
that.
out?
No, you can get bottled water. It's actually, in this example, is in a carton. Like a milk carton.
So what would you think happened if I chose orange juice and chicken nuggets together? Because is the mental age being determined by the combination of all the choices together? you
It's
think?
got to be, yeah.
Because that's so strange that
Yeah. You're probably like, I don't know, 19?
I don't want that at all.
All right, well,
I'll
what's
do
your
the
drink?
the bottled water.
All right. What do you want with your meal on the side? You can have apple pie,
No.
French fries,
Yeah.
just apples by themselves, or the same salad that you could have had as your main course. The same exact picture.
I don't want salad from McDonald's,
Okay.
and I don't want them to sell salads either.
So you're getting French fries? It
Yeah.
comes with ketchup. Is that okay?
I guess.
All right. And it's time to munch on a little bit of a dessert. So you can have a strawberry, blueberry, and granola yogurt, a strawberry ice cream cone, a mud pie type of milkshake, or donuts with like Oreo crumbles, M&Ms, sprinkles, and chocolate chips on them.
I want. Could you? What was the first thing?
It was like a yogurt parfait thing.
That one, I guess.
Finally, grab a McCafe drink to go with your dessert. Coffee, like a cherry chocolate mocha coffee, like a caramel macchiato, and like a hot chocolate with marshmallows and chocolate powder.
Just a regular coffee.
Sorry, there's also hot tea.
I don't want hot tea from McDonald's.
You are between 20 and 29.
Dude, that's such a big range, first of all, because that's all the people that take BuzzFeed quizzes, don't
Yeah.
you think?
Yeah, that's the worst answer. Yeah, that's horrible. That's such a cop out. That's
Let's just
yeah.
edit this out.
That's that no, because I want to talk about how that's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. 20 to 29. Yeah, you're exactly right. That's the exact people. Yeah, it's
That's
like,
your demographic.
What's our demographic? Let's just say that. That's 100% accurate. Sure.
Dude, imagine going to journalism school and really wanting to bring the truth to the people.
And you do this.
Yeah.
That sucks. Let's call this person out.
Let's just not. Let's just leave them alone.
No, it's so. This is what makes it even worse. Is this is just a user.
Oh,
Yeah, it's Kendall_Henderson, a community contributor. She has 130 points.
what does that mean?
Who the fuck knows?
Well, you're the one that's on BuzzFeed.
Yeah, it was my idea. All right, I apologize.
That's okay. I mean,
BuzzFeed sucks.
You're
apparently.
trying. You're trying.
I don't know. Because it did get us in. We just advertised BuzzFeed. I mean, they sponsored us. They paid us to talk about it for 10 minutes. But still.
It happens. What else you got?
It's so here's something interesting. Sports are coming up.
Is that and what? What else?
What do you think of sports?
I just don't care for them. They don't interest me. None of them. Except competitive eating. That fascinates me.
Why didn't we watch the hot dog eating contest?
I use the word fascinate very, very liberally. Most sports I could kind of just understand what's going on, or like kind of I can accept what's going on. But with competitive eating, I really want to know where all the food is going.
Well, because most competitive eaters, if you look at them, are not like fat. Some of them are bigger, but none of them are like humongous, really. And the main ones are skinny.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, dude. Where does the food go? So would you consider that a sport or not?
Oh God, no, I wouldn't, unfortunately, because I do use the word sport pretty liberally. But food eating, although it is on ESPN, is where I draw the line. What about you?
I don't know. I guess it's not that serious what you would call a sport or not. Because if you're thinking of things like, football, tennis, then yeah, I guess competitive eating is not a sport. But I mean, there's competitive nature to it, which I think is really interesting.
There definitely is competitive nature to it. Where it gets interesting is like cheerleading and gymnastics.
Why?
Because they're certainly impressive. And they certainly take a lot of strength and coordination. All the same things that you would need for a sport. But it doesn't really feel like a sport.
It's tough when something's more a matter of opinion, something like gymnastics or cheerleading, where you can have two people do really great things, but they're very different, as opposed to a race where it's very obvious who's the best.
Yeah, they're like, that guy did it faster than everybody else, and that's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
So that guy must have done it the best. That guy, he scored the most points. They won by 3 points, and he scored 4. So he really did a good job out there, right?
Yeah, and who are the judges to decide,
That's a really good point. That's one thing that's always bothered me, because everybody has bad days at work, and that's just their job. So
and who are the real judges, like actual judges? Who are they to decide?
Who are the actual judges? I don't know, dude. Oh, dude, yeah, who selects the judge? Who picks that person?
Yeah.
The judge selector, because they're probably going to be biased.
It's a racket. Well, the president does.
Of?
The United States. Or are we talking about two different things?
I thought we were talking about the judges in gymnastics.
We were, but then I was like the actual judges, like people that wear robes and they're in a courtroom.
Yeah, I think sometimes the president does. Sometimes the president maybe just suggests. It's a little weird. I don't understand politics and how the government works. I wasn't really listening.
To what?
School. When they're like, this is how, like, this is what these people do. This is what the judicial branch does.
Dude, I gotta be honest with you, man. I was never listening.
Really?
Pretty much.
So when you were growing up and you were going to like elementary, middle school, and high school, did it depend on the teacher, or even if you had a cool teacher, would you not be interested in doing the work?
I would do the work if it was a cool teacher, but that's pretty much it. I feel like the merit of the teacher is so important to the level of interest in the class, at least for myself. But
would you be doing the teacher a favor by doing the work for them? Like, was that how you saw it, or were you?
No, I just wasn't into it. I was thinking about other things.
No, I'm saying if you liked the teacher and you did the work, were you doing it because you were doing a favor for the teacher, or were you doing it because you were engaged with the class and that's when
Because
you were
I
the
was
teacher?
engaged with the class, or at least I think when someone is excited about something, then even if you're not really into that thing, it's a little bit easier to get into it.
That makes sense. And do you think it was magnified in the other direction? So, like, if a teacher was really bad, do you think you would be even less motivated to do the work?
That makes sense. Yeah, I think so. What do you think?
I did the work. Yeah, I would have felt bad. I did all of it. I tried to.
Well, don't get me wrong. I got good grades and stuff. I'm just saying I feel like I was like out in outer space half the time
Then or now?
then, because I mean I don't go to school anymore.
That's true. Well, that's the thing that's like weird about high school is you kind of can do that. Like, you don't have to be super engaged.
No, yeah, I mean if you're kind of just phoning it in, I feel like you can
Do what you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Get what you're supposed to get. Did you like high school?
No, but I just think, dude, why does it start so early in the morning? Can someone tell me?
It's weird because I feel like little kids are like fine waking up early in the morning.
I wasn't.
No, little kids. More than adults, pretty much, than high schoolers. It was just really weird how they structured it. That they gave... I guess they gave high schoolers the latest. Right?
No, middle school. Middle school started at like 9, I think.
That's crazy.
But high school started at 8.
7:30.
No, I think it started at 8, but I mean, you kind of had to get there early.
Yeah. No, high school was pretty early. And it was every day, and it was a lot. I'm surprised it didn't seem harder at the time. Because it seemed pretty easy. But
Monday through Friday, oh my God, it's like a full-time job, dude.
Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 3:30. It sucks. Middle school gets out late, though, right?
Well, I assume that they're all there for
The same amount of time.
pretty much equal amount of time.
I didn't mind middle school all that much. Elementary school. Middle school sucked.
I feel like my high school, I could probably speak for both of us. Our experience wasn't as tough as
It could've
definitely some people, but oh my God, dude, so boring.
been. Yeah, they didn't do a great job at engaging us, I would say.
Yeah.
Some teachers did. Some teachers definitely did, and I wouldn't want to speak for everybody, but there was definitely some instances where it was just like, yeah, I'm just here to get a paycheck. And I was like, all right, well, I'm just here to get a grade, so.
I'm just here to get a grade, bro.
Yeah. It's horrible. Do you think you could ever teach?
I think I could if someone put a gun to my head, but it sounds like way too much work.
That's what it would take?
Yeah, it would take the threat of violence. Kids are they're so annoying. They don't listen to anything. What do you think?
Oh yeah, no, 100%. I don't know how to work with them. We were actually at a gathering recently, and there was a bunch of kids around, and yeah, I'm not very good with interacting with them and knowing what they want. I'm even worse with kids when their parents are around, because then I have to please the kid and the parent.
Oh my God, that's asking so much. And you know what's even worse than that? When someone asks you to hold a baby.
Yeah, that's true,
Dude, I don't want to hold it.
I don't want to hold it even if you weren't here, and you're here, so you're gonna be like, why are you holding it that way? And I'm like, I don't know. You gave it to me this way,
Yeah.
kinda.
What's the best that could happen is that I get to do something that I don't want to do.
And it goes well.
Yeah. And what's the worst that could happen?
I eat it.
You'd eat the baby?
If I ate the baby, that's probably one of the worst things I could do. There's probably a couple of things.
How would you prepare it?
No. I mean whole, right in front of the mother.
Oh, like your jaw would retract.
Yeah, dude. Like how snakes are like.
Like Alien.
Yeah, like the It movies. If I did that, I feel like that would be probably the best case scenario, for me at least. Worst case scenario for me would be like dropping it. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, that would be... It's just too much. How long do you think is an appropriate amount of time if you were in the, what do you call it, the operating room, and when the baby was born, and Like, what are you supposed to hold it after the mom,
Are you the? Who are you?
the dad?
I think you kind of hold it together, honestly. Like I think the mom like picks it up and you go like right in for it and you like hug it with her.
It could be like that movie Mother where you're like, give it to me, like it's the freaking Lord of the Rings or something.
Stop talking about the movie. You didn't like it. You're not allowed to discuss it. You can only.
I told you I liked certain things about it.
I just like the lore of it and like what it makes you think about and try to figure it out. That's what I like about it. The movie itself isn't particularly watchable even, but the ideas behind it are definitely discussable. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
I feel like Jennifer Lawrence is kind of overrated too.
You think so? I think she's a good actress. You don't like her?
She's okay. I guess I haven't really seen that many. I saw the movie Silver Lining Playbook and I thought that was good, but I think those are the only movies I've even seen her in.
Just those two? You didn't watch any of the Hunger Games movies?
I saw like the second one, but not the first one or any of the other.
Yeah, and that's not like a huge showcase of her talent. She was also in X-Men, so you probably saw her in that. She's been in a lot of shit. It's pretty crazy how much she's done in such a short amount of time. Because Hunger Games movies were big. Obviously, the X-Men movies are pretty big. And she was a pretty important role in X-Men. She was in it a lot.
I haven't seen them either.
They're horrible. Superhero movies are tough, apparently, because really only one company's figured it out.
Well, yeah, it's so oversaturated. I wonder what the next thing will be, if anything, where it's just like the common trend.
So let's talk about this. I hate to bring up more pop culture, but we got a pretty big announcement this week.
Who?
El Camino.
Oh yeah.
So El Camino. So Christian and I are big Breaking Bad fans, of course. One of the greatest shows ever made. How could you not be? And they announced a prequel movie. If you're unaware and you live under
It's
a
not
rock.
a prequel.
Or a sequel movie to Jesse's story, basically. To be released on Netflix, called El Camino, a Breaking Bad story. I don't believe it's directed by Vince Gilligan. I think it's just written by and created by Vince Gilligan. I believe the director is somebody else, Michelle something. I believe she probably was part of the director's team for Breaking Bad. Several directors in that show. And it got announced through Netflix this week with a quick Skinny Pete cameo.
What's your excitement level at?
Cautiously optimistic with most Netflix movies. But it is Netflix, and it is Vince Gilligan, and it is Breaking Bad, and it is Aaron Paul.
Could be good, but at the same time, I feel like the show, for what it was so good that to have anything extra is nice. You know, to have Better Call Saul, to have whatever this ends up being, it'll be cool.
But it is a risk.
Yeah, you think it could tarnish the memory of the show?
Of course, if they're not thinking about that as an option, they're idiots. It's absolutely an option. It could 100% happen. And that would be horrible for the show. That would be such a shame.
What would they have to do you think?
To ruin it?
Yeah.
I think bringing Walter White back to life would be very silly. I think that was a perfect end to the Walter White story. He can exist in the movie. If he was in flashbacks, that'd be cool. If he was
alluded to
is definitely fine. The furthest I'd be willing to go is to be like a hallucination for Jesse from like post-traumatic stress from everything. So just he exists in the present terms, but he's just a hallucination of Jesse's. So he's not alive. That's the furthest I'd be willing to kind of stretch it, and even that would be a little bit strange for Breaking Bad, but I think they could probably make it work. But I think flashbacks are probably better. Voice would be okay, I guess. I don't know. It's really tough to tackle because Bryan Cranston has to be in it. He has to, in some capacity. He has to be in it.
He'll be there in spirit.
You think that's enough? His hat sitting around, his glasses somewhere.
We'll see, because I was just thinking, I mean, there will probably be new characters because whatever Jesse gets into after, I'm sure that he'll find maybe another woman or something like that.
Yeah, that'll be a new villain.
It'll probably just be the police.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But knowing Breaking Bad, there'll probably be like a main police guy that's like a villain.
Yeah. So we will see. I think that it'll be good because I think Vince Gilligan has good judgment.
And he did write it, and I think that's the hardest part. I'm not worried about Jesse's acting. I'm not worried about any of their acting. And the show was always beautiful, whether Vince Gilligan directed it or not. And I think that this girl was a major director during the show. I can't confirm that.
Yeah, because they had a few.
Several. Yeah, Bryan Cranston's directed episodes. I think that Anna Gunn maybe did. So plenty of directors on the show. So I'm not super worried about it. The only thing I'm worried about is... I'm not worried about it because I don't think Vince Gilligan would be really willing to risk Breaking Bad's reputation for anything. And although season 1 of Better Call Saul starts off a little slow, the show's good. So, he doesn't deserve any hate for that because I don't think he's extending it as a money grab. I think it's a good show.
It's not like fan service either.
No,
it's totally its own thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's its own thing. It lives on its own. It's good enough to exist by itself.
So, did you know El Camino is just Spanish for the Camino?
What is a Camino?
It's a car.
Oh, really?
That must be what he drove away in at the end. That's what I assume, right? Do you remember?
Dude, you're probably right. That's a good point. Good job, Christian. Good pickup. It probably definitely is. I love what they did with the finale, too. Felina. Little anagram action. Little chemistry action.
Yeah, man. I took 3 semesters of Spanish, so I'm pretty much fluent.
Yeah, I can imagine. I can definitely imagine. So, like, if you don't have anything else major to talk about, I don't have a whole bunch to update the people on. I wanted to make sure that they knew we were live. We've been focused on technical issues lately, and we're happy to persevere through those. But a lot of good content coming out soon, I think.
I think that we're going to start shifting from movies or so much because we do talk about movies a lot. I think we're going to shift it to music. I think that's more what I want to do.
Yeah, on episode 6, you can expect a pretty consistent or a pretty significant music discussion. So keep your ears peeled for that. Yeah, absolutely. I would expect about a 20-minute music discussion next week on the podcast. We've been working on a lot of things, and we think you'll be happy with what's to come. What else do you got to say, Christian? I want to hear your closing thoughts. Closing thoughts with Christian.
Closing words. Just 3. Smell you later.
Smell you later. This has been the Porchcast. Thanks again to Tiki Torches and to Quest Bars for sure. And we will see you next time. And stay classy, but stay classy.